meteorologist Chase Jones.
Ooh, Concho Valley, how was your weekend? Mine was absolutely spectacular. Even saw a little bit of rain, but not enough to do any damage towards that drought monitor. Now, we're keeping our eye on some of this high cloud cover as it makes its way into that last week of April. Remember, you only have one more day for that early voting, so we're going to keep our eye on some of these weather conditions as we make our way towards the beginning of May, and we could see some cooler weather as a result. A monster storm definitely on its way, but I don't think we'll see anything too severe. Temperatures over the last 24 hours gradually dropping down into those lower 70s. Then we made a good 20-degree run up into those lower 90s, and we're cooling off gently right now. We're going to level out somewhere in those 60s, and we have our eye out for some severe weather. Now, it's saying it's going to push its way in, but I don't think it's going to be very likely with humidity values as low as they are. 90 in San Angelo, where everybody else in a combination of those mid to lower 80s across the entire region. 10 degrees definitely out there, though. 94 in Sterling City, 78 in Robert Lee, 85 down there in Junction. That was the 10 degrees that I was looking at earlier, but some pockets of moisture making their way off towards the north. Now, we're keeping our eye on some of these humidity values. Dew points are down there in those 60s, so definitely around the severe weather temperature, but humidity indices are in those 40s and those 30s, so maybe just too dry. Now, we were looking at the atmosphere in different layers. We're talking about maybe there's not enough diffluence or winds diverging, exhaust in the upper levels. Now, keeping our eye on the moisture tracker, we're getting a better idea of the Texas dry line. Now, it's really smashed up against the Rocky Mountains. You sort of see how it buckles around the Edwards Plateau by Wednesday and Thursday. That's where we have some of that colder weather trying to make its way in. Maybe we see a little bit more moisture as a result. Now, the upper level pattern is going to give you a clear idea of what I'm talking about. Take a good look off the west coast. As we make our way closer towards summer, we're getting a better idea of the meridional flow or the transition season. Take a good look at the size of this monster storm. Off towards the east coast, it's going to form the exact same low pressure, and right over the Concho Valley, right on the unstable side of that high pressure. Now, we take you into the water vapor imagery because we're tracking some pretty strong storms, some speculative tornadoes by tonight with some good probability of some hail, but again, it just might be too dry. Keeping our eye on some stronger winds as they make their way across Nebraska, Colorado. But take a good look at Wyoming. It's going to snow again, and we see that central pressure system hanging out over Utah. Here it is. It's the Concho Valley today, pushing up towards the northeastern part of Texas and just skirting the panhandle. We take you down into the hail probability off towards the northwestern side. Trey, I don't know if you're going to need to park the truck away this time. Getting a good look at the satellite as we see that tornado watch box off towards the entire northern part of the Concho Valley. But you see how fast these upper level clouds are moving. A lot of stratiform clouds, so nothing too low level convection. We get a good idea of the radar showing us the path of this storm as it does that steam kettle effect again. But the Futurecast is going to show you where these storms are supposed to be at. It's supposed to be a lot worse than it is, but it makes its way out. Now, closer towards 6:30, getting a better idea of another line that could make its way through, but we'll see if it wants to show up. Then, as we make our way into Tuesday, the last day to vote, we're keeping our eye on these high humidity values. Again, in the afternoon, closer towards the evening, it could go around us again, but we'll keep our fingers crossed for any more moisture. So tonight, keeping our eye on some of that humidity as we drop down into those 60s, still keeping all the dangerous weather on there. Then tomorrow, a beautiful, humid morning, then clearing by lunch, and then what would you call that? Muggy, balmy, humid, thick. Either way, we're just keeping our eye on those humidity values. Take a good look as we near the end of April, beginning of May. We're keeping our eye on that strong low pressure system around Utah. That's where it's going to push us all the way down into those 70s, while those overnight lows still hold strong in those 60s. Stay tuned on You're watching KSAN News at 5.